Ghana. We are at the table with Mr. Hassan Al Hassan, and he is Head Minerals Tiles Department of the Minerals Commission. Mr. Hassan, thank you and welcome to the table.
Thank you, Thelma.
Glad to have you. We are talking about mineral rights and the Minerals and Mining Act that was brought or finalized or brought on board in 2006. So it gives certain rights to persons who want to get into mining, and there are different types of mining. So take us through exactly what types of mining you can get into in Ghana and what the requirements would be to get those licenses. Maybe we should start with types and then we can work our way into the requirements as we go along.
Thank you, Thelma. Yes, like you said, the minerals and mining operations in Ghana are governed by the Almighty Minerals and Mining Act 703, which you just mentioned, backed by one regulation for licensing, which is Minerals and Mining Licensing Regulation 2012, which is LI 2176, which actually governs the way we issue licenses to the general public or people who are interested in mining in Ghana. Like you said, mining is general. Before you get into mining, we have two broad categories of operations that we need to understand. We have the exploration and exploitation. Exploration broadly means you are searching or investigating for the mineral of interest and determine its potential. That's exploration. Then when we talk about exploitation, is the extraction of that mineral from the mine. So these are the two different categories when you come to the mining operation. So then when we talk about the kind of licenses that you need for these two broad categories, for the exploration, we have the Reconnaissance license, we have the prospecting license, and we have some license with term restricted Reconnaissance license and restricted prospecting license. I would explain why we refer to them as restricted. When we talk about minerals, we have categories of minerals. We have the precious minerals, the base metals, the gem, and industrial mineral. So broadly, with the prospecting and Reconnaissance license that is stated in the law, it refers to those minerals we call the precious, base metals, and the gems. But when it's about industrial mineral, then we're talking about the restricted licenses for industrial minerals. So when you come to the Reconnaissance license, it's a license that is granted for preliminary exploration. If I say preliminary exploration, it means it's the first stage of exploration where you need to do some observations on the field to ascertain the type of rocks that are in the area, the minerals that you expect to be in the area. And we have something we call the structural orientation of the rocks, because it's very important when it comes to mineral exploration. That's for Reconnaissance license. So Reconnaissance license is just to get yourself acclimatized or, familiarized with the terrain with respect to the geology and the minerals you expect. So those licenses are actually given, the Reconnaissance is given for 12 months. Renewable, and it can take as big area as 1,050 square kilometer area maximum to apply for the, how do you call it, Reconnaissance license. And Reconnaissance license, we have restrictions as to the kind of activities that you can do with that license. And actually the activities are purely geological mapping, which is to identify the rocks in the area and to pick samples of those rocks to test for the minerals they have. Then we have the soil geochemistry mapping, which gives you which enables you to take samples as to samples in streams or samples on soil surfaces to also take for analysis to determine which kind of minerals are in there. Then we have the geophysics or geophysical survey. These are surveys that are done by aircraft. We call the airborne geophysical survey. We have some instruments attached to the aircraft that fly over those areas. and they're able to take information which guides the geologist in determining structures or receptacles that are capable of, demobilizing mineralization or localizing mineralization. So we use either the geophysics survey, the geological mapping, and the geochemical survey during the Reconnaissance license. And it should be noted that during the Reconnaissance license period, you, the holder of that license, is not supposed to do any excavation or drilling. It is purely acclimatization, knowing the type of rocks, testing for the soil, testing for your stream sediments, sediments that you can find in the stream, to help you define your way forward. So after 12 months, though that license is renewable, after 12 months and you feel you've determined something that is good enough for you to go ahead, then you can apply for the prospecting license, which allows you to do more detailed geological work.
Now, I'm wondering where the restricted and non-restricted part comes in, because you said the Reconnaissance license allows you to do tests, if I'm understanding you correctly,
to do the
and to take samples,
yes,
but not to excavate or to drill.
To drill, yes.
So where is the restriction? The restriction here.
Restricted lines. Restriction is with respect to the minerals that we are looking out for. Like I said, the restricted is for industrial minerals. Industrial minerals are minerals like the granite, sand, salt, feldspar, clay, kaolin that we have. These are minerals that we mine for their economic value, because you can mine clay and turn it into something else, like pots or crucibles that we use in the mining to help melt the gold. So these are what we term as industrial mineral, and their finding and mining is called restricted. But with other minerals like the precious minerals, base metals, and the gems, there are no restriction is attached. It's just Reconnaissance license, prospecting license. But when it gets to industrial mineral, that's why we say restricted Reconnaissance license or restricted prospecting license.
Okay, so I'm guessing that once you have a Reconnaissance license, which allows you to find out exactly what is available at the sites that you've chosen, the prospecting will then give you the actual power to drill,
to do more detailed exploration that involves the excavation and the drilling. Because at the prospecting phase, you are given 3 years, which is also renewable. So your period is extended for 3 years and renewable. It's only that at the point of renewal, it comes with 50% area shed off. So if in case you have 100 square kilometers initially, after 3 years when you are renewing, you have to reduce it to 50 square kilometers and shed off 50 square kilometers.
Why is that imposition necessary?
It's just to help you concentrate on the core areas that have proven to have some degree of potential, so they can do much work there. And you leave out the areas that you feel are not giving you what it takes to take your project to the next level.
Okay, what does a person need to prove to get these licenses? Or what's the criteria for acquiring a license?
The criteria for acquiring a license is just normal. Being a Ghanaian, for some licenses, apart from the small scale licenses, which are basically for Ghanaians, all the licenses like the Reconnaissance, prospecting, the mining leases, which I didn't get there. The mining lease is just to the license that gives you or enables you to mine and process the mineral. So you take off from Reconnaissance to prospecting and to mining lease.
Okay.
These are the 3 stages. Okay. Yes. So back to your question, as a Ghanaian or any investor that comes into the country, all you need to do is to identify your mineral of interest in the area that mineral of interest is located. Then now you think or determine the type of mineral right that you want, the Reconnaissance license, the prospecting. Then we have something we call the cartographic search. That is when you go into the area to find a location where you want to do your mining, your area of interest. You need to bring the coordinates or the map of the area to us.
Okay.
For us to check from our cadastral map in the Minerals Commission whether the area that you are interested in is encumbered by somebody or is free. So through the cartographic search, we'll be able to tell you the area is free or is encumbered. If it's encumbered, it means you can't apply for the area. But if it is free, then it means you can continue with the process.
Does this encumbered word you keep referring, does it refer to ownership?
Yes, it means it's being taken by somebody.
Okay.
Yes, so you can't apply for the same place. You have to go look for another place.
Right, because I'm thinking land ownership, should it be the person who is seeking the license who proves they have ownership of the land, or can they just say it belongs to somebody else but we are able to use it for this purpose?
Frankly, from the Constitution, the mineral rights actually something that is given to the president, the mineral rights of the country. The Constitution gives it to the president to hold it in trust for the people of Ghana. So you may have the surface right of an area, but whatever minerals that are in there in the ground is vested in the president on behalf of the people of Ghana. So you don't have the mineral rights of the area, you just have the surface right.
And does it matter whether in the planning of the area that site is earmarked for a mine or any other purpose when someone is applying for licenses of this nature?
Frankly speaking, when you are looking for places to do exploration, you don't go looking for places which are already built up or densely populated areas. You rather look out in areas that are occupied by forest or any other thing, apart from, how do you call it, human habitat. So in forest and areas that have farms and plantations, these are the areas that we actually go looking for.
So the Minerals Commission would look out for all these things when someone submits papers looking
we
to
have
get a
to
license.
have a look at all these things, because when you are exploring, definitely you can't be doing exploration in a densely built populated area. It has to be in areas that are especially populated.
So what's the process like and how long does it take?
The process, yes. The process requires that you bring us some documents that we check, especially it should be a registered company.
So give us an idea of what some of those documents are. There are people listening who may be interested.
There are some minerals that you can apply as an individual, like sun winning. That one you can apply as an individual, but you have to give us a proof of your identity card that shows that you're a Ghanaian. But with other licenses, you need to be registered as an enterprise or a limited liability. So all these papers you register from the Registrar General's department, you bring to us, we look at it. That is after you've done your search and it has granted you the opportunity that the place is not encumbered. You can apply. Then you can go buy the application forms. And behind the application forms, we have all those requirements that you need for the application. You need to give us a company document. You have to provide the site plan signed by a licensed surveyor. You have to bring us a work program or a business plan for whichever mineral that you want to go and work on. So all these documentations have to be presented to us. Then we look at them. We have 5 days to review and look at them. If it's not sufficient, we call you and tell you there's something lacking here, provided within 10 days for us to continue with the process. But if everything is correct, we have about 15 days to gazette your application. Gazetting means we have to publicize your application to the general public, especially in the area that you want to work. We publicize in the dailies, we put it at the paramount chief's house, the malls, the churches, the marketplaces, for people to see that company A wants to come and explore or mine in this area for this particular mineral. So if anybody has any objection to his coming, then raise it within 21 days. before we are able to continue with the process. So after the 21 days, if nothing comes from the general public, then we continue with our process of doing our recommendation to the minister that company A is applying for this license. And the minister has 60 days to respond to that. And the minister has the right to approve or reject. But in most cases, it's approved because we do the recommendation and give the minister the information that the person has the financial wherewithal, the technical wherewithal to do the work. So given this recommendation, the minister will say, okay, I approve of it. So when the minister approves, then we have 21 days to also inform the client or the applicant that, hey, minister has approved. So come get your offer letter and pay the rightful fees for you to go and start your operation. And you, the applicant, also have 60 days to respond to our letter that you've accepted and you've paid the required fee. Then when you pay the required fee, show us all the evidence. Then we also write to the minister. So minister has 30 days to issue out the license. So we're talking about the process taking a maximum of 150 days.
150 days.
And a minimum of 60 days, depending on the situation. You know, every stage of the license, before you can progress, depends on the outcome. Like if your publication goes out there and the chiefs raise objection, it means you keep marking.
They have to be dealt with before it can move further.
Moved further.
And who bears the cost of all these things? I think we will have to continue this in another sit down, because I was just gearing up to ask about whether the land size mattered,
the land size
whether
matters, yes.
You can do other operations, because there's a lot involved here. But even the topic of processes involved has taken quite a bit of time already. Who bears the cost of all this?
The applicant.
The applicant bears the cost. I think we'll come back and revisit. The land size also matters.
Yes.
And why is the land size important? Because you said even when you move on to another level, you have to give up 50% of the land and focus on more precise areas.
Yes, the Reconnaissance actually gives you a wide land range to work on. But mineralization, you need to narrow up to a specific area that has given you indication of some potential. And it can't be the whole area, because mineralization have their own patterns and areas that they follow. So by so doing, you need to narrow it up. So the 1,050 square kilometers for Reconnaissance lines, when it comes to prospecting, it reduces to about 157.5 square kilometers.
Give us maximum. An idea. How big is that? If we use football pitches to analyze the size that you're talking about, how many stadiums are we talking about? How many football pitches would we say? 5, 10?
I've not thought about that. Square kilometers is big.
It's quite huge.
Yeah,
okay.
So,
big, yeah. And I hope, are your operations decentralized? Can people apply from anywhere in the country? Yes, our
operations are decentralized. Frankly speaking, as I said, we have 5 regional offices apart from the head office in the Eastern, Western, Ashanti, Northern region, and what didn't I mention? And Greater Accra, yes.
Okay.
Regions. And we have about 13 districts all spread across. And apart from this district, we have about 20 satellite stations. So our footprint actually covers the whole of Ghana. And we keep increasing the footprint. So every application has to start mostly from the district before it comes to the head office. Right. The vetting process starts from there before it gets to the head office.
I hope that next time we'll have the opportunity to look at the other side of what specifics would lead to a license being denied, because there's a lot of stops along the way and many days in between. So maybe next time when we are here again to speak to Minerals Commission, we can go into those details a bit further. Thank you so much, Mr. Hassan Al Hassan, Head Minerals Mineral Titles Department of the Minerals Commission.
Mineral Titles.
Mineral Titles Department of the Minerals Commission. Thank you, sir. Mr. Hassan, thank you for coming on the show. And the Minerals Commission are here every Wednesday morning to explain some of these laws and policies and operations in the minerals industry to us, to give you an opportunity to ask questions and to give you an opportunity as to what you may need if you are thinking of getting into that business, so that you know to play by the rules. And